Okay, so we're now live on the Courthouse YouTube channel. You're very welcome to the Courthouse Singing Sessions, our March session, and our special guest, Mairéad Walls from Antrim. Hi, Mairéad, we give you all a big wave. You're very welcome. It's great to see you and have you here to close it feels like a week of St. Patrick's Day celebrations with the extra day. But we're delighted to have you here this evening, and thanks to the Courthouse Arts Centre for supporting the event. For anyone who hasn't been to the Courthouse Singing Sessions before, the way we usually run them is we call three singers at a time. We pop the names into the comment box, so keep an eye on the comment box and use the comment box to ask questions and talk about songs. So the first three singers for the night, John Ennis, Rita and Frank Greeley, please. So we'll hand over to John. How are you, John? Could ask you to unmute yourself. I ask you to unmute yourself, John.
Are we there now?
There you are. Good. How are you?
You got me unawares there. A song name came up on Facebook there during the week, which brought back a flood of memories to me. Recorded back in 1902, I do believe. And I saw the name, but I remember an old cousin of mine who's long since gone, God rest him, who used to sing it, and I loved it. I was only a wee boy at the time. And say it brought back a flood of memories and the words, I hope. So it's a song about a special relationship between an old man and his granddaughter. It's called The Ivy, I believe it was called. So I'm going to attempt to sing it at great risk. Grandad said that evening fall, 'neath the old garden wall, where the ivy was clinging all around, and the maiden young and fair, with blue eyes and golden hair, on the ground was sitting closely to him there. One day you leave me, the old man sighed. The maiden smiled as she replied, just watch the ivy on the old garden wall, clinging so tightly, whate'er may befall. As you grow older, I'll be constant and true, and just like the ivy, I'll cling to you. When the ivy years ago said the May began to grow, then the old wall supported it with pride. Now the old wall is in decay and is crumbling fast away, but the ivy clings more closely to its sides. Loving you have ever been, you cared for me day by day. Loving I will always be, and ever by your side I'll stay. So watch the ivy on the old garden wall, clinging so tightly, whate'er may befall. As you grow older, I'll be constant and true, and just like the ivy, I'll cling to you.
Beautiful job.
Very nice.
Thanks, John. That was wonderful. Wonderful. We're going to head over to Rita.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm going to sing one of the versions of Siúil. I wish I were on yonder hill, 'tis there I'd sit and cry my fill, and every tear would turn a mill. Is good to morning sun. Siúil, siúil, siúil arún, siúil go sacar agus siúil go ciúin, siúil go daras agus éilí lam, is good to morning sun. I'll sell my rack, I'll sell my reel, I'll sell my only spinning wheel, to buy my love a sword of steel, is good to morning sun. Siúil, siúil, siúil arún, siúil go sacar agus siúil go ciúin, siúil go daras agus éilí lam, is good to morning sun. I'll dye my petticoats, I'll dye them red, and round the world I'll beg for bread, until my parents would wish me dead, is good to morning sun. Siúil, siúil, siúil arún, siúil go sacar agus siúil go ciúin, siúil go daras agus éilí lam, is good to morning sun. But now my love has gone to France, to try his fortune to advance. If he e'er comes back, 'tis but a chance, is good to morning sun. Siúil, siúil, siúil arún, siúil go sacar agus siúil go ciúin, siúil go daras agus éilí lam, is good to morning sun. Thank you. Lovely, Rita.
Lovely.
Rita.
Brilliant. Okay, Frank. Come with Frank. There you
How are you all? Yeah, how are you doing? Sorry, I have to go a little bit early tonight and stuff, but we'll go, as I said, we'll go the full distance next time round. This one is, I suppose, it's a sign of our times and a bit about the futility of what's going on at the moment. It just keeps going around in my head the last few weeks, so it's as well to get it out. We'll give it a lash. Okay. Well, how do you do, Private Willie McBride? Do you mind if I sit here down by your graveside? Rest for a while in the warm summer sun. I've been walking all day now, and I'm nearly done. Well, I see by your gravestone You were only 19 when you joined the great fallen of 1916. I hope you died well, and I hope you died clean. Our Willie McBride was it slow and obscene? Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife slowly? Did the rifles fire out when they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post in chorus? And did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? And did you leave a wife or a sweetheart behind? In some loyal heart is your memory enshrined. Though you died back in 1916, in that loyal heart are you always 19? Or are you a stranger without even a name, forever enclosed behind a glass pane? In an old photograph that's all battered and worn, faded to yellow in a brown leather frame. Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife slowly? Did the rifles fire out when they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? Now the sun shines down on the green fields of France. There's a warm summer breeze makes the red poppies dance. Trenches vanish long under the plough. There's no gas, no barbed wire, no guns firing now. But here in this graveyard, it's still no man's land. The countless white crosses in mute witness stand to Bland's blind indifference for his fellow man. To a whole generation that's been butchered and damned. Do they beat the drum slowly? Do they play the fife slowly? Do the rifles fire out when they lowered you down? And did the band play the last post in chorus? And did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? Well, now, Willie McBride, I can't help wonder why. For all those who lie here, oh, why did they die? Did they believe when they answered the call? Did they really believe that this war would end wars? For the sorrow and the suffering and the glory, the shame and the killing and the dying, was it all done in vain? For young Willie McBride, it's all happened again and again and again and again and again. Do they beat the drum slowly? Do they play the fife slowly? Do the rifles fire out when they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? Thank you.
Great singing, Frank.
Yep. Well done, Frank.
Well done, Frank.
Brilliant. I hope our next three spotted their names in the chat. George, Alice and Eugene McEldowney. So George,
Okay.
how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm going to sing a song that I got from Graham Miles many years ago. The Wilsons recorded it, but they never sang the first verse. I never understand why they didn't sing the first verse. Anyway, this is the song. Sea coal, hear the man call. Sea coal, hear the man call. We go out in the morning with our spades in our hands. We scrape up the coal where the tide meets the sands. We fill our black sacks in rows, there they stand. Sea coal, hear the man call. Sea coal, hear the man call. If we don't buy a sack soon, we'll have naught at all. But we need a few shillings to buy bread and meat. And if we must go hungry, well, at least we'll have heat. Sea coal, hear the man call. Who'll buy, hear the man cry. It's only a few shillings for the finest of fuel. Come stoke up your fires, lads, the weather is cruel. And it's cold in the winter around old Hartlepool. Sea coal, hear the man call. See him at the end of the road. If you don't buy a sack soon, it all will be sold. You can see by his wagon that small is his load. And if we must go hungry, we needn't go cold. Sea coal, hear the man call. Sea coal.
Fine song, George.
Well done, George.
Heard that before. It's lovely. Really nice. Thanks a million. Okay, we're going to head over to Alice.
Thanks very much, Rachel, for asking me. So with Mairéad here today, I was thinking I would sing a song I learned from Mairéad, but then I thought, oh wait, she might do it. So I won't do that. Instead, I'll do a song that I learned from my dad taking walks by the Lagan in Belfast. Where Lagan stream sings lullaby, there blows a rowan fair. The twilight's gleam was in his eye. The night was on his hair. And like a lovesick lion and she, he hath my heart in thrall. Now life I owe, nor liberty, for love is Lord of all. And often when the beetle's horn hath lulled the eve to sleep, he steals into my shieling lorn, and through the dooring peeps. There on the cricket's singing stone, he lays the bogwood fire and sings in sad, sweet undertone the song of heart's desire. His welcome like his love for me is from the heart within. His warm kisses, felicity that knows no taint of sin. And when I stir my foot to go, 'tis leaving love and light to feel the wind of longing blow from out the dark of night.
Lovely, Alice, lovely.
So beautiful.
Lovely, Alice. Thank you, Alice. That was lovely. This was lovely. Our final singer before we head over to our special guest, Eugene McEldowney. How are you, Eugene?
I'm good. Thank you very much indeed, Rachel, for having the session and for inviting me to sing. This is an English traditional folk song. I'm not sure where exactly I got it. I may have been from the Wattersons, the Watterson family. I listened to a lot of them when I was first getting interested in traditional singing. Anyway, here it goes. It's called The Sweet Primroses. It's a pretty classic ballad. As I walked out on a midsummer's morning for to view the fields and to take the air, down by the banks of the sweet primroses, 'twas there I spied a most lovely fair. With 3 long steps I did approach her, not knowing her as she passed me by. I stepped up to her, thinking to view her. She appeared to me like some virtuous bride. I said, fair maid, why do you wander? And what is the occasion for all your grief? I will make you as happy as any lady, if you will grant me some small relief. She said, stand off, you are deceitful. You are deceitful and a false young man. It is you that's caused my poor heart to wander. And to give me comfort is all in vain. I will go down to some lonely valley where no man on earth shall e'er me find, where the pretty little songbirds do change their voices, and every moment grows prosperous wine. So come all young men who go a-courting, pray pay attention to what I say, for it's many's a cold and a cloudy morning turns out to be a most sunshiny day. Sweet Primroses.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eugene. What a wonderful start to tonight's session. So we're going to head over to our special guest, Mairéad, and we're going to welcome her to the Courthouse Singing Sessions. Mairéad, I just want to congratulate you on your wonderful CD, Mairéad Walls, Songs and Music from County Antrim. If anyone doesn't have their copy, highly recommended. Just pop your name into the chat and we'll let you know how you get your hands on it. Congratulations, it's fantastic. We have it on in the car the whole time. It's wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much.
And welcome to the Arts Centre, the Courthouse Singing Sessions.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. I've only, I think, been on a couple of these Zoom singing sessions. I always tend to shy away from them. But it's lovely to be here tonight and to see so many familiar faces. Can I start off by just saying happy birthday to Mr. Seamus Brogan?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Seamus. Happy birthday to you. That's my Marilyn Monroe impression.
And what an impression it is.
You've embarrassed them there a little bit now.
Seamus, only the best people have the birthdays on the 20th of March, you know that?
Oh, that's right, George.
You're dead right, George. That must be your birthday as well, is it?
Happy 75th.
Yep, that's right.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, George. I'll sing a song. I start off, I'm going to sing an Antrim song, strangely enough. This one, it was written by a poet who lives, who basically lived in the village where I grew up in Dunloy in the north of Antrim. And his name was David Given, and he was known as the main valley poet. And he left school, at a very young age, but he obviously had a gift for writing poetry, and he continued that on through his adult life. And the poems that he wrote, John Kennedy, who you all are familiar with, put a number of them to music. And the songs themselves make up almost like a social history of the area that I grew up in. So I learned 2 or 3 of the songs that John had put to music, and I have recorded them on the CD. That's my one and only plug for the CD tonight. But so this one is called Glenone. And when I saw Alice on and I said, oh my goodness, Alice is going to sing Glenone, one of my songs. But thank you so much. I'm going to sing it tonight. So this one is about the demise of a wee townland outside the village. They just basically, I think, demolished the wee houses to make way for a road. And this was his, I suppose, his storytelling of the terrible desolation of the wee townland. So it's called Glenone, and I hope you enjoy it. One eve as I roamed in the gloaming, taking life as it came at its best, on the paths I had trod in my childhood, as the sun sank away in the west. Springtime with her sweet was returning, as each warbler piped forth in full tone. But amidst all this joy I felt weary, and I sighed, saying, where is Glenone? Glenone was an old-fashioned village, and it stood on the top of a hill, where the road took a turn for Blackheath, down the valley past Antiquer Mill. But it's gone from the hilltop forever. To my vision there's scarcely a stone, a remaining to refresh my sweet memory of that spot known to all as Glenone. In my dreams I still see their wee cabins, overlooking yon meadow serene, where we sang the love songs of old Erin, and we danced with the maids on the green. No sorrows or cares could disturb me, as in these bygones I wandered alone. For when the lords in their castles ignored me, I had always a friend in Glenone. But that was way back in the 20s, and time has wrought wonders since then. We have spaceships that circle the planets, and the moon habitation for men. We have boys from the dole in great splendor, causing tractors and dozers to groan, to make way for the fast-moving traffic, as they tumble down ancient Glenfinn. If its natives came back, they would wonder in thoughts that would grieve them full sore. For to see their wee dwellings demolished by the foothills of dark Moor, I can imagine their words of amazement as they gaze on their heavenly zone. These words on their lips would be the parting. Fare thee well, and God bless you, Glenfinn. That's it.
Lovely. Fantastic.
Lovely.
Thank you very much. This next song is one I got from Joe Holmes. I'm sure a number of you would be familiar with Joe. A lovely man from Ballymoney in County Antrim, just about 6 miles from where I grew up. Unfortunately, I never met Joe. He passed away just before I started to sing. But I got a lot of his old recordings, and I think I must have listened to them over and time again. I learned a number of his songs, and this particular one, I just liked it because it was a nice jiggy sort of upbeat song, and it's called True Lover John. So I'll sing that for you now. I think Joe got it from his mother, so I'm claiming it as a County Antrim song. Someone maybe will tell me that it's from some obscure place, but I'm claiming it as being from County Antrim. It happened for her to be on a cold winter's evening, a fair maid sat waiting alone. She was thinking of her father, likewise her aged mother, and also her true lover John. Young Johnny, he was sweet, and he promised for to meet, but he tarried an hour too long. He met with great delay, which caused him for to stray, and die waiting all alone. Young Johnny came at last, and he found the door was fast, but he slowly tinkled at the pin. This young maid, she arose and hurried on her clothes in order to let young Johnny in. He took her in his arms and off to bed they went, and it's there they lay talking of their plans. I wish this maid, said she, this night would prove to be as long since the world first began. Fly up, oh fly up, my pretty little cock, and don't crow until it breaks day. And your beak it shall become of the very shiny gold, your wings of a silvery grey. But this pretty little cock, so cruel as he was, he crowed out an hour too soon. And he sent my love away before the break of day, it being only the light of the moon. This young maid, she arose and quickly followed after. When will you come to see me? When the fishes they do fly, when the 7 seas run dry, when 7 moons shine brightly o'er yon lea. There was once I thought my love was as constant unto me as the stones that lie under yon ground. but since that I have found he has altered his mind, I would rather live single as be bound.
Oh. Lovely.
Lovely.
Let that be a lesson to you all. The last song for this part, I'm going to sing one of my all-time favorite songs. Was another county anthem song. Surprise, surprise! But it was written by Hugh McWilliams from Glenavy in County Antrim. He was a school teacher, and he also came to live in the area, North Antrim, and taught in the school, primary school there for a time. And I think, I was actually teaching this at a workshop yesterday, and it just suddenly dawned on me that he obviously wrote the song when he was living in North Antrim, because there's a reference in the song, I think it's in the second verse, from Clock or to the glens hard by, and it's reference to the meeting of the two traditions in the north or in Ireland. Clock is the meeting house was in Clock, the Presbyterian meeting house, and then the Catholic church and the Catholic chapel was in the glens. So that's and where he would have been in Lougheed, he would have been exactly between Clock and the glens of Antrim. He'd have been in that area, literally miles from both in either direction. So it just actually dawned on me yesterday after singing it for 25 odd years. I've just realized that he wrote it when he was in North Antrim. So this song is called Peace and Erin, and I got it from John Molden many years ago. John used to come to a singing session in Cushendall in the glens of Antrim. It was a monthly session, and he used to bring a broadsheet with him every month and introduce a new song. And he introduced this song one night, and I just seized on it and thought, I loved it, loved the song. So I'm going to sing it for you tonight. Where all mankind dispose like me to live in peace and unity, no more contention there would be upon the plains of Erin. Originally we are sprung from Father Adam, mold and young. These words should flow from every tongue. We'll cherish peace in Erin. We're formed by one deity to worship him, let's all agree, and live in love and harmony with every class in Erin. On a Sunday, if our roads do lie to Clock or to the glens hard by, it should not weaken friendship's ties amongst the sons of Erin. What shore can boast so pure an air, or boys more brave, or girls more fair, and who were rare esteemed in war before the sons of Erin? Their courage far abroad is known, in the field of Mars their glory shone. Then let us cultivate at home the laws of peace in Erin. May freedom fair and commerce smile upon my dear, my native isle. Not Egypt worth her flowing Nile could equal thee, sweet Erin. Fine silver lakes and burning springs, and verdant groves where music rings, and that health with healing in her wings, to bless the land of Erin. 'Tis principle that shows the man this is the best, the only plan, and one that I have built upon as passing through old Erin. So then let us at this present day drive prejudice and spleen away, far, far beyond the Atlantic Sea, and all shake hands in Erin. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Back to you later on in the evening. That was wonderful. Gorgeous songs. Fantastic. Okay, so I popped the next three singers into the chat, Bernie, Fergus and Tommy. So, Coel, Bernie. There you are, Bernie. Up top.
Okay.
Hi, Bernie.
Thanks, Rachel and John. I do a Fremantle Bay John Hogan song. Since in Ireland. Oh, my name hasn't mattered for many's a day. I was born on the west coast of Clare. By the time I was married and had my own land, there were many who envied me there. Our home was contented, the years quickly passed. We had 4 lads to carry our name. Then one year the crop failed and the hunger set in. I was certain that I was to blame. And oft times I think about Dolan and my cottage a lifetime away. Though I'm chained here and bound, my heart can't be found in this prison on Fremantle Bay. It was many an evening I stood by the door and looked out where our crops used to be. But the pain deep inside when I looked in the eyes of our children, it drove me to steel. It was raining the night that the sheriff's men came, and the judge gave his verdict next day. For the lamb that you've stolen, you'll have to be sent to a colony where you will stay. And oft times I think about Dolan and my cottage a lifetime away. Though I'm chained here and bound, my heart can't be found in this prison on Fremantle Bay. Oh, the sun beats down from a merciless sky, and the rocks they dig into our feet. For the work's very hard, and there's never a break for unfortunate men such as me. My crime cost a shilling and 6pence to mend, but it sent me away o'er the sea. And now I must live out
the rest of my days in this land that means nothing to me. And oft times I think about Doolan and my cottage a lifetime away. Though I'm chained here and bound, my heart can't be found in this prison on Fremantle Bay. Sinead.
Yep.
Lovely, Bernie. Lovely, Bernie. Lovely altogether.
Lovely, Bernie.
Thanks, Millie.
Head over to Fergus. How are you, Ferg?
Okay, Rachel, thank you very much. When we were children, we would often go to the little village of Omeath on Carlingford Loch, and my father wrote a number of poems and songs about this area, which he was very fond of. So this is one of these songs, and it's specifically about his admiration and his love for Omeath, and it's called Take Me Back. So, give it a go. Take me back to where I rambled when I was a boy, to that lovely Omeath village nestling neath Slieve Foy. There my thoughts do ever wander, filling me with joy. Take me back to where I rambled when I was a boy. Let me walk the roads and pathways, roaming where I will. Salt from sea and scent from wildflower, let my senses fill. Weary years I spent without you, give again the thrill. Take me back to where I rambled before this heart is still. Up the road that leads to Arda, through love Knocknagorn. Glad my feet to tread these ways, especially at the morn. Freshest then is field and hedgerow, grand the waving corn. Take me back to where I rambled, that's where I was born. Ballyunan's ever calling, Bavin beckons me. When the shades of night are falling, cottage lights I see. Cornamuckla comes before me, grand the waving corn. Take me back to where I rambled, where I want to be born. Jim Jack would row me o'er the waters to the oar's sweet noise. He'd tell me how are all the folks, the Hardys, Howes and Hoys. He'd tell me tales of bygone days, of sorrow and of joys. Take me back to where I rambled, let my heart rejoice. Take me back to where I rambled when I was a boy. I'd cast aside this busy life, like tired child a toy. How grand 'twould be again to see my own beloved Slieve Foy. Take me back to where I rambled when I was a boy. Should I?
Lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely.
To head to Tommy, if he's there. I know. Are you there, Tommy?
Yeah, hello, Rachel.
How are you, Tommy?
I'll change the tempo. No,
That's okay.
I'll just to throw a spanner on the box. I have a story.
We'll throw
to
you
tell.
out if it's too much.
So yeah. Well, I know a man once. He was every bit of 70 years when he got a mad notion of parting from single bliss. Well, the way it turned out, God love us, sure, it was only a notion. Because like the rest of us at the time, he didn't have the sense when he was young. And then he got too old when he got the courage. Anyway, he suffered severe from pains in the bones, and no matter what he did, it brought no relief to him. Until one day, he was talking to a returned Yank, and you're telling him all about his pains. And the Yank told him, I have a cure for you. Tell me, did you ever go down to the sea in the month of September when the iodine would be in the water? I'm telling you, that will cure you. But so the problem with the sea for us was that we were 30 miles from the sea. And sure, you could count on the toes of one leg how many people in our locality ever saw the sea, except for those going to England and America. And God love us, they saw plenty of it. Anyway, the man I'm telling you about, his name was Pat. He lived in a small house and he had a small tract of land. And in a state of drunkenness, he was inclined to call the place a farm. And so God love us, all he had to his name was a donkey and cat. And anyway, when he heard about the iodine in the salt water, he was fierce anxious to find out what he'd have to do to get the benefit from it. And when he was told he'd have to go swimming in the sea, what's to say? And would there be a crowd there? Of course there'd be a crowd there, especially if it was on a Sunday and if the weather was anyway fine. Well, that put a stop to Pat, because he said in no way was he going to strip off and disrobe himself in front of strangers. But anyway, that summer came bad and so were Pat's pains. And in the middle of September, he got a plan. He tackled the donkey and cart and he put 2 big barrels up in the back of the cart and headed off. You see, the way he had it worked out was to be a much better plan if he went down to the sea and brought back a couple of barrels of it, so that in the comfort of his own kitchen, he could bathe himself without giving scandal to strangers. Anyway, till late in the evening when he landed down to the sea and the place was deserted, they were all gone home, except for this one fisherman sitting up in the quay wall smoking his pipe. And Pat looked out at all the water. And he turned to the fisherman and he said, tell me, is that the sea? God, indeed it is, said the fisherman. And tell me, says Pat, are you in charge? Oh, indeed I am, said the fisherman, jumping to it. And tell me, says Pat, what would you charge me for a couple of barrels of it? Oh, £5, said the fisherman. By God, thinking to himself, they are biting on dry land today. Anyway, Pat gave the fisherman the £5, and God knows his luck was in, and so was the tide. Right in up to the top of the quay wall, And all Pat had to do was to reach down with his bucket and fill up his 2 barrels of water. Well, he went home delighted with himself. And when he got home, he plunked the 2 barrels of water up in the middle of the kitchen floor in front of a fine roaring fire. And the way it was, he needed a bit of assistance now, jumping from one barrel to the next. So myself and Melodian Legs Laurie were invited up. Now Melodian Legs was a fine, strapping young fella. You're married maybe 3 or 4 years, I remember it well. He got married on his 50th birthday. And he was called Melodian Legs because after a couple of nice bottles of Irish mist, his legs would go in an in and out motion and the chest wheezing like a bellows. By God, you know, he was well named, all right. Anyway, getting back to me, man, Pat, in the comfort of his own kitchen, he stripped off down to the naked skin. Well, I suppose, you know, there's none of us perfect. No wonder he didn't want to go stripping off and go swimming in the sea. So, how will I describe it? Oh, God knows, no, I needn't bother, I suppose. Well, he had 2 legs in him for all the world, like the 2 maps of Italy, decorated with varicose veins like sheep in his own mountain. Anyway, in the comfort of his own house and with the help of Melodian Legs, he started leaping from one barrel to the next. Well, glory be to God with all the leaping and all the excellent. You know, it was doing him great good. But after about a week, you know, he noticed that the jizz was gone out of the water and the jizz was going out of himself as well. So he said the only plan was to go back down to the sea and get a fresh supply. Well, he landed down to see the second day till late in the evening again, and who was there before him? Only the same fisherman. And when the fisherman saw him coming, he said, well, how was it for you? Well, said Pat, you know, it was wonderful to put Sloane's liniment to shame. I came back for more of it. Now, the same day the tide was gone well out, and Pat gave the fisherman the favour, and the fisherman told him, look, you'll have to go out a bit further today. Oh, Jason, Pat, I saw that. And God knows, you know, it must have been fierce, the man. It's nearly all gone. Anyway.
Very good.
Very good. Thanks, Tommy.
Well delivered.
Right, we're going to head. The next 3 I popped into the chat in case you missed it. Poor King, Alberta, and Seamus Brogan. So, Poor, how are you?
Yes, Rachel, thanks. I'm going to chance my arm. My arm was in a bit of a sling, but I'm going to chance it anyway. This is a song which I'll sing in memory of the late Seamus McMahon. It's a song which he wrote, and I'll have a go at it. My lovely poor green fields. Last night as I lay slumbering in Philadelphia town, I dreamt I stood on Terrace Hill to view the plains around. I thought the host of errant sons and daughters fair and true. From south and east, from north and west, came marching into view. Some came with hum of pipe and drum, some came with sword and shield, and they sang the praise of Glenfinn and her lovely four green fields. From Munster came great bards of fame and heroes of renown, with brave MacSweeney in the lead, from Cork's own rebel town. There was music rare from the men from Clare and from Kerry's happy town. The fair maids from the Daisha and the men of Slienaman. Some came with hum of pipe and drum, some came with sword and shield, and they sang the praise of Glenfinn and her lovely four green fields. From Roscommon side there marched with pride the legions of the West, the Sligo men with fiddle keen and love of music blessed, men from Mayo who fought the foe and dared the tyrant's frown, and lads so true from Leitrim too, and girls from Galway town. Some came with hum of pipe and drum, some came with sword and shield, and they sang the praise of Glenfinn and her lovely four green fields. The Leinster throng, all brave and strong, came marching in their turn, with brave O'Moore and Michael Dwyer and Fiach McHugh O'Byrne. I saw brave Pierce and Connolly, all young and in their pride, and the Wexford men from hill and glen came marching side by side. Some came with hum of pipe and drum, some came with sword and shield, and they sang the praise of Glenfinn and her lovely four green fields. From Foyle and Ban came many a man, to sing of Ulster pride, of Columkill and sweet Kefir and famed Blackwater side. On Ronil, who led the field with O'Donnell to the fore, and the brave men all from Belfast fall to Swilly's lovely shore. Some came with hum of pipe and drum, some came with sword and shield, and they sang the praise of Granuaile and her lovely four green fields. Yep.
Good man, Frank.
Oh, smashing.
Good man.
Singing. Sorry.
Seamus is a huge loss to us all, and it was lovely to hear that song. Thanks, Borg. Thanks a million. Where are we going now? Alberta. How are you, Alberta?
I'm fine, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
All righty. Well, this next song was, I think I'd call it an assignment. I was assigned this song by Patty Berry. So, but I didn't get the air done in time. And so this is a song about a little reprobate boy who loves to smoke and doesn't care about anything else. So it's called The Poor Smoking Boy's Lament. It was collected in 1848 and sent into the Wexford Insurgent. So The Poor Smoking Boy's Lament. Oh, I am a little codger, and I once a year of 10, and I keep me pipe in Becky box to smoke among the men. But the old one's always dodging me, and down upon me taw she comes in with a smack to crack the Eugene from me jaw. And she's a dodging and a dodging after me, smashing pipes in Becky box and never lets me be. This old one bawling in her sleep one night me daddy woke, 'cause she had a leprechaun that filled her house with smoke. Me granny dropped me swaddling bands afore the second twist, and shouted, "Amelia Margaret, there's a Eugene in its fist." And she's a dodging and a dodging after me, smashing pipes in Becky box and never lets me be. One day left by the creepy stool, I scrambled to the hob, and it's there I grabbed a rusty pipe and I stuck it in me gob. I squatted on the bellows and the neighbors peeping in, they swore I was no child at all, I smoked with such a grin. And she's a dodging and a dodging after me, smashing pipes in Becky box and never lets me be. From sparrow start till dawson time, the pipe is me delight, and if the fleas keep nipping me, I smoke it all the night. There's not a ghost I rap and run, but goes upon the weed. And when I brings the grain a day, I'm sure to make it bleed. And she's a dodging and a dodging after me, smashing pipes in Becky box and never lets me be. I likes it when my sister Kate is on the scout of me, to rock the squalling kid at home and mind my ABC. When the daddy catches me, he gives me such a dirr, And the old one gets herself upset for breeding such a cur. And she's aye, dodging and dodging after me, smashing pipes and backy box and never lets me be. My face, it is as sooty brown as any barber's block, because they mixed little weed with cabbage leaves and talk. The flesh I had upon me jaws was puffed in smoke away, and it's like and unlike the Egyptian mummy stuck behind me bitter clay. And she's dodging and dodging after me, smashing pipes and Becky box and never lets me be. Oh, I wish I was in Virginia where blessed Becky grows, and the old one stretched a pair of sticks on their toes. I could puff the weed imperative till daylight do appear, and get no dock and cabbage leaves that comes across me here. And no one to be a-dodging and a-dodging after me, smashing pipes and Becky box, and never lets me be. The first time for that.
Lovely. Lovely song. Lovely. Really enjoyed that. That's the first time you've performed it. Great job. Great job. Lovely. Thank you. Thanks a million. Before we head back to our special guest, we're going over to Seamus, birthday boy, Seamus Brogan. Happy birthday, Seamus.
Happy birthday to me. I'm going to sing a song that I got a very, very long time ago from a great friend of ours and a great singer, Frank Bryson. And the first time I ever heard this song was he sung it in at one of the Wexford weekends, as I said, a long time ago. But anyway, God be good to the man. He was a great friend to us all. And the song is called Tom Williams. Days may pass and years roll onward, but still a memory I will keep of a night in Belfast prison, and shamefully I saw men weep. For the time was fast approaching. A lad was sentenced for to die. And on the 2nd of September, he goes to meet his God on high. Now he marches to the scaffold. Head erect, he shows no fear. And while standing on that scaffold, Ireland's cause he holds most dear. Now the cruel blow has fallen. For Ireland he has given all. He who at the flower of manhood proudly answered to her call. Brave Tom Williams, we salute you, and we never will forget those who planned your brutal murder, we vow we'll make them all regret. And through the world, you Irish soldiers, if on his path you chance to stray, keep in memory of the morn when Ireland's cross was proudly borne by a lad who lies within a prison grave. That'd be good here, Frank.
Great song.
Lovely, lovely, Seamus.
Marvelous song. Thanks, Seamus. That was wonderful. We're going to head back over to our special guest, Mairéad. That came around quickly, Mairéad. I ask you to unmute yourself. Yeah, there you are.
Hi, I've really been enjoying the songs, and I realised that I was sending all these messages, and I found out I was sending them all just to John Ennis. So sorry about that. I just was saying lovely songs. I've really enjoyed every one this evening, especially that last one, Seamus, that brings back lovely memories of Frank. With great nights, great weekends with Frank Bryson over the years. I'm going to sing a County Derry song this time, because John has told me off, saying that there's 31 other counties in Ireland apart from Antrim. So I do sing other songs other than Antrim songs. I actually even sing Wexford songs. So I'll sing one particular Wexford song, but I'm not going to sing it tonight. So I'm going to sing this one. I got this song from John Kennedy. Again, it was at the All Ireland Flan Sligo. I think it was maybe about 91 or 92 or thereabouts. And he sang this song called Castle Row Mill. And it's Castle Row is an area just outside Coleraine in County Derry. So it's a nice song of emigration. I can remember the first line. As I went a walking on last Lammas Day, I met a wee lassie, a tripping lightly and gay. The lilt of her song was like the lark trill, and she told me her dwelling was Castle Row Mill. No longer than Lammas, the stranger I'll serve, for I've got all my money laid up in reserve. I'm off love to Canada, if Providence will you go along and leave Castle Row Mill? Sir, my aged parents are on the decline, and I cannot leave yon a poor dwelling of mine. Her eyes were as bright as the clear purling rill that flows through yon valley by Castle Row Mill. Well, I'm sailing the ocean where billows do roar. Oh, cruel the seas, I may ne'er see her more. May goodness protect her from all that is ill, and befriend that wee lassie of Castle Row Mill. Farewell to my sandal, farewell to the band, where me and my love a wee straight hand in hand. Where'er I may wander, where'er I may roam, and may sweet Castle Row at last be my home. There you go. That's another one.
Lovely.
Very good.
Beautiful singing, beautiful song.
Thank you very much. I'm going to say, going back to Antrim again, can't stay away too long. This one I got again from Joe Holmes, and it's a song in praise of one of the 9 glens of Antrim, Glen Shesk. So this is, it's called Lovely Glen Shesk. And again, it's another, I suppose, emigration song, but it's quite a strange song because it's quite biblical in its context. So I'll sing it anyway. It's just a lovely, I think it's just a lovely melody to it. I think it was the melody drove me to it first and foremost, and then of course, secondly, the fact that it was an Antrim song as well. Farewell to ye hills and green valleys, and the woodlands spontaneously spring, where the feathered tribes of each species and the cuckoo melodious does sing. All this beauty I part in this evening. In my sorrow I feel no disgrace, and no wonder it grieves me to leave you and to part from you, lovely Glen Shesk. I have come to the age of discerning. I am taught for to keep the commands. We each must live our own lives freely, so I am bound for a far distant land. Like the bee I will go gather honey, as I wander through many's a strange place. And no wonder it grieves me to leave you and to part from you, lovely Glen Shesk. The Israelites, they were in bondage. They murmured at their going away. They would rather turn back to their burdens and work at them both night and day. But then Moses showed them the bright promise. Alas, they did sorely transgress. And no wonder it grieves me to leave you and to part from you, lovely Glen Shesk. Only for Adam and Eve's disobedience, we all would be happy and free. For the serpent tempted Eve in the garden to eat of the forbidden tree. We ne'er would have to work at hard labor. We all would be happy and blessed. I pray we'll avoid all temptation when far from you, lovely Glen Shesk. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you very much. I was just, when I started to sing that, I realized I actually got it from Len Graham, but it was one of the dual tape recordings that him and Joe did many years ago. I think it was one of those early LPs, or I think I got it as a tape, but it was Len Graham that I got that particular song from. So I'll finish with a song I've been singing for years. You could probably, and if you who know me from singing sessions could join in if you want. It's another one written by David Gibbon, the poet from Dunloy. And say he sort of lived, I think he died in 1969, but he was a prolific writer of, I have loads of these poems, and some of them I said that John put to music, John Kennedy. So this was one, and it was about the village that I grew up in. So it's called Sweet Bonnie Dunloy. And thank you so much for all the lovely comments. I've just realized there was an icon at the bottom here, and I was reading them all earlier on. So I really appreciate all your lovely comments. Very much appreciated. So I'll sing this one. And thank you again to Rachel and John for facilitating this evening. It's been great. Now if I can remember the first line. County Derry, may boast of her heath-covered mountains, and many full scenes so enchanting and rare. Her deep flowing rivers and bright rushing fountains that flow through her glens and her valleys so rare. But dearer to me are the blue hills of Antrim, where nature's edict birds are all singing with joy. Where could you go for a jolly night's dancing that could equal that love spot of sweet Bonnie Dunloy? Oh, to view it in the evening, when the pub is just closing, and the sun sinking slowly away down in the west, then it leaves us a while as if for reposing behind the high summit of the mountain's proud crest. Then to view it again when day is beginning, and the sun shining brightly on the sign of Dennis Malloy's. Its pure, radiant beams so clearly are shining, reflects upon the grey crags round sweet Bonnie Dunloy. In spring, when nature to earth is returning, and the chill of the cold winter season is o'er, the earth puts aside its deep mantle of mourning, and a new suit of emerald green she puts on. Then all the land looks delightful and pleasing. So go then and get me a far greater joy. To the heart that is fretting, there is nothing more pleasing than that rare scenic beauty around sweet bonny Dunloy. So now, sweet Dunloy, at the home of my childhood, I am dreaming about you by night and by day. And I scan the county dairy near Melville's wildwood, where I once plucked a flower, and not far from Kilray. And deep in the veil of my heart she is blending, and no one can ever cause me to decoy, till the day that I die and to heaven is wending, I will bid you farewell, my sweet bonny Dunloy. That's it. Thank you very much.
Lovely, Mairéad.
Oh, great song.
Well together. Really lovely.
Thank you, Mairéad.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll come back to you for a couple of songs towards the end. We'll try to get us through as many singers as we can. I've popped 3 more names into the chat: Colin Brennan, and Riki and Joe O'Connor. So we're going to Colin. Hi, Colin.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. Beautiful, beautiful scene from Mairéad. Loved it. I have a song I wrote a week ago. It's called Platform 4, Kiev Central Station. She waits on the train with 3 children to mind, the youngest in arms, but her man's left behind. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. For Ukraine's her country, Ukraine the brave. She's just 26 with 3 children to save. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. The black soil of her country, the soil to grow grain. Cruel shells from the Russians bring that grief and pain. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. The flag of the Ukraine is yellow and blue. Their wheat is the yellow, the large skies the blue. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. We know about tyrants, they ruled us too long, but our spirit held fast through stories and song. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. God's curse on you, Putin, with your lies and your might. May your balls turn to prunes and your crops catch the blight. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. You told lies to your people, you told lies to us all, but the cruelest of despots will eventually fall. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. With your bombs and rockets, your missiles and planes, you never will quench freedom's blood in their veins. She's leaving her homeland, not knowing for how long, with cold, stifled tears for her country. Yeah.
Whoa.
Lovely.
Well done, Fran.
I think you've kind of encapsulated what we're all thinking.
Particularly the prunes.
Thanks, Colin. That was lovely. Lovely. Okay. Anne Regan.
Hello, good evening. I'll give you a Hamish Henderson song. He wrote it in the 60s for the peace marchers and the protesters at the Holy Loch, which it all reminds us, not that we need reminding, that it's the ordinary folk that suffer in conflict. The freedom come all ye. Rock the wind in the clear day's dawning, blaws the clouds, he'll stir gaudy o'er the bay. But there's mair nor a roch wind blowing o'er the great glens o' the world today. It's a thought that would gather rotins o' the rogues that gan gallus fresh and gay. Tak to the road and seek other lonings, for your ill ploys to sport and play. Oh, nae mair will her bonny callants march to war when the braggarts cruisely craw. Nor we wains frae Petite and Clachan, more na ships sailing in the broomy law. Broken families in lands we've harriet will curse Scotland the brave. Nae mair, nae mair, black and white, ain't a leather married, marks the vile barracks o' their masters bear. So come all ye a time wi' freedom, never heed that the hoodie croaks for doom in your house. Oh, the bairns o' Adam will find breed, barley brie and painted room. When MacLean meets with friends in Spurringburn, all the roses and greens will turn to bloom, and a black boy beyond Nyanga doings the fell barracks o' the burgers doon.
Lovely.
Whoa!
Lovely, Anne.
Lovely, Anne.
Great song, Anne. Well sung.
Great job. Going to head over to Joe O'Connor. Are you there, Joe? We lost Joe.
Still here.
name it is Jack Monaghan.
Ah, there.
I'm a roving, rambling man, and I have been a traveller since first my life began. I've seen the moonbeam dance serene high over Banffy town, and I have been to Dingle Bay, and I've watched the sun go down. The open field, it is my bed, my pillows made of clay. I've wandered far through this green land. I grow weaker day by day. I hate the towns and the bitter frowns. I avoid them when I can. But some night soon, neath a winter's moon, I'll die a travelling man. My mother was a travelling girl. From Dingle town she came. My father was a city man. I'm proud to bear his name. They said he died near Dublin town, where he fought the Saxon foe. My mother wrapped me in her shawl, and travelling we could go. When I was 16 summers old, we walked to Sally town. My mother's face was grey as hate as she followed me around. Died that night, and the stars were bright. She shed her weary load. I laid her still on a Kerry hill, and I took the open road. My shoulders, they grew wide and strong, my hair like French red wine. I fought the Connors and the Wards, the Coffeys and O'Brien. I courted girls with golden curls. I often drank my fill, till one summer's eve I met Anne Marie at a fair in Francis Hill. Her father owned a farm of land. He had horses, cows, and hay. I told her that the open road would make her old and grey. But she laughed my youthful fears away, and there our love began. She left her home near Ennis town with a roving, rambling man. But then we travelled far and wide, as our true love did bloom. She bore for us a baby son in a field outside Macroom. The night was long, and he wasn't strong. He was dead before the morn. I cried that night, and the stars were bright over a field of golden corn. Again, we travelled far and wide, through winter's rain and snow, to Kerry, Limerick, Cork, and Clare, to Galway and Mayo. She shed her grief like a fallen leaf, white silver stained her hair. Then she died one day near Milltown Malbay, in her native County Clare. Ah, now the road, 'tis hard and long, my face is old and grey, my shoulders bent, my life near spent. I grow weaker day by day, till I take my load on the open road, and I sell my tinker's ware. But I dream at night, when the moon shines bright, of a girl from County Clare. My name is Jack Monaghan. My age is 83. I raise my hand to this green land, where once I wandered free. They'll lay me down near Ennis town, that's where our love began. I'll take my sleep, and let none weep, for a roving, rambling man. And I just...
Lovely, Joe.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Joe, thanks a million. So we're going to go to Seamus, Shields, Jack and Angela and Gavin, the next three, before we go back to our special guest for a couple of songs. Hey, Seamus.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. So this is another song from Scotland. It's a slightly newer vintage than Anne's song. This was written about 35 years ago, probably in Edinburgh, by a great songwriter called Robin Lang. Across the wine dark sea spreads the rosy fingered dawn. It lights your eyes with longing, but still you linger on. Day after day, Ulysses, the sands of time run through. Go back to sea, it's in your heart. I will wait for you. By the sandy cove, your black ship rests from year to year, with white sails always ready, and all the rowing gear. Day after day, Ulysses, the lotus blooms for you. The siren's silken singing shadows everything you do. In the warm, still night, I hear you pacing in the hall. I know your mind is flying where the long waves rise and fall. Day after day, Ulysses, I feel you slipping away. In my eyes, the sting of tears, in yours the salt sea spray. You're not the kind of man to be content with what you've done. Others reach for guidance, you reach for the sun. Day after day, Ulysses, you study the changing skies, watching for the goddess who smiles with flashing eyes. In all the songs and tales, you are the undefeated man. But growing old is not a game of catch me if you can. Day after day, Ulysses, our days slip by so fast. Their finest colors fade into the landscape of the past. Across the wine dark sea spreads another rosy dawn. It lights your eyes with longing, but still you linger on. Day after day, Ulysses, the sands of time run through. Go back to sea, it's in your heart. I will wait for you. Go back to see. It's in your heart. I will wait for you. That's it.
Oh.
Mighty.
Seamus.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that song. Thank you, Seamus. That was wonderful. Wonderful. We're going to head over to Jack and Angela. How are you?
Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, John, and everybody. Great night.
That was a terrific version, Seamus.
Yeah, well sung. And we're going to stay in Scotland now. In fact, we're going to do two little short things. First, we'll sing Dick Gaughan's song, Both Sides of Tweed, and then go into a tune that's a jig that I wrote a few years ago called The Brig Jig. What's the spring breathing jasmine and rose? What's the summer with all its gay train? What's the splendour of autumn to those who have bartered their freedom for gain? Let the love of our land sacred rise, to the love of our people succeed, and let friendship and honour unite, and flourish on both sides of Tweed. No sweetness the senses can cheer, which corruption and bribery bind. No brightness that gloom can e'er clear, for on it is the sun of mine. Let the love of our land sacred rise, to the love of our people succeed, and let friendship and honour unite, and flourish on both sides of Tweed. Let virtue distinguish the brave, place riches in lowest degree. Think him poorest who would be a slave, and them riches to dare to be free. Let the love of our land sacred rise, to the love of our people succeed, and let friendship and honour unite, and flourish on both sides of Tweed.
Oh.
Lovely. It's a pleasure to hear you both. Thanks a million. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to get to everybody tonight. I was just looking through the list. We're going to go to Gavin Byrne before we head back to Mairéad for a couple of songs. And then I'm going to ask Lynn and Derek to finish the evening. And all the other singers and contributors that are here tonight will pop you at the beginning of the list for the next session. So, Gavin.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Gavin.
Lovely. Really enjoyed Mairéad's set, so do a short one. One pleasant summer's morning, when all the flowers were blooming, oh, nature was adorning, and the wee birds sweetly singing, oh. I met my love near Banbridge town, my charming blue-eyed Sally, oh. Oh, she's the queen of the county down, and the flower of Mairéad Walls. With admiration I did gaze all on this blue-eyed maiden, oh. Adam wasn't half so pleased when he met Eve in Eden, oh. Her skin was like the lily white that blooms in yonder valley, oh. Oh, she's my queen and my heart's delight. She's the flower of Mairéad Walls. Her yellow hair in ringlets hung, her scarlet cap and feather, oh. Her bonnet with 2 ribbons strung, her shoes of Spanish leather, oh. Like Venus bright she did appear, my charming blue-eyed Sally, oh. Oh, she's my queen and my heart's delight. She's the flower of Mairéad Walls. I hope the day will surely come when we'll join hands together, oh, and I will wed the one I love in spite of wind and weather, oh. And let them all say what they will, and let them reel or rally, oh. For I will wed the girl I love. She's the flower of Mairéad Walls. Jeanette.
Thank you. Lovely.
Good job, Gav.
We're going to head back over to Mairéad for their final set of the night. We could listen to you all night.
Oh gosh, thank you. I've been really enjoying all the songs. It's been a lovely variety all night. It's great to hear. It was lovely. Jack and Angela, I love that your song and your tune. Love the jig. Lovely jig. Well, I'm not even going to say I'm going to sing a County Antrim song because I think that's just a foregone sort of thing. These 2 songs that I've chosen to finish with, I don't think maybe I'm going to sing them because I don't think maybe they're sang out a lot. They might not even be known as songs. The first one is called Sweet Loch Gill, and I got it actually when I was only a youngster singing. Seamus McMahon, God rest him, came to our local Courthouse branch to do a singing workshop, and I think he was struggling to try and get Antrim songs, and he brought this up with him, and so I got the song from him. And I've recently learned that it was written by a grandson of Hugh McWilliams, he who wrote Peace and Erin, The Trip Over the Mountain, When a Man's in Love, all those great songs. So it was his grandson, Jamie, I think his name is, wrote this particular song. So it's called Sweet Loch Gill. And I haven't really sang out anywhere, so this is the first, apart from the recording. It's a long time since I bid farewell to friends and comrades all at home. and went across the bounding seas in a strange country for to roam. I left my friends in old Ireland, how sad and downcast I did feel. I parted with my own true love and my lovely home in sweet Lochiel. 'Twas there I spent my youthful days, all with contentment and with joy, and o'er its lovely hills and dales I sported a light-hearted boy. No wonder that it grieves me sore when sad misfortunes clouds do steal. I long for parents so dear to me in my lovely home in sweet Lochiel. And sometimes when I go to sleep, each well-known face I think I see. I think I see old friends again, with smiling faces to welcome me. But soon my dream comes to an end, my weary wandering thoughts reveal that I am in a foreign land, far from my home in sweet Lochiel. There's one fond thought that fills my mind where'er I roam by land or sea, and that is to return again my own dear native land to see. For there's no place in this world so wide that I the same contentment feel, or spend my days so pleasantly as amongst the girls around sweet Lochiel. There you go.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you. All right.
An unusual song. I've never sang it out at a session, so it's a different one. And if anyone knew anything about County Antrim, it's where I come from. For me personally, to sing a song about Lochiel, it's unheard of because there's so much rivalry between my home village and the village of Lochiel. It's deep rooted. They barely speak to each other. So to sing a song in praise of Lochiel is quite strange. This last song then is another one from Davy Given, and he wrote it. It's in praise of the River Main, which it's probably one of the lesser known rivers in Antrim. It's a tributary of, obviously, goes from the Ban and goes into Lough Neagh. And again, it's a sort of almost like a self-pen or a song about his life, because he mentions himself in the last verse, and it's all about his meeting his wife and setting up home. So it's quite a nice song. And again, it's another song that John Kennedy put to music. So again, it's probably not widely sung. I think John was the only other person who sang it. So it's called The Banks of the Main. I'm going to put the words up here just in case I make a mess of it. Dear County Antrim, the home of my childhood. It's the land that I love, for it's there I was born. My young life was happy as I roamed through the wild wood, for to hear the lark's song o'er the dew of the morn. O'er Skerry's blacktop the sun was adorning, every clear streamlet, green valley and plain, which made my heart light at the top of the morning, as onward I strayed by the banks of the Main. As I wandered along 'neath the rays of gay flora, my heart was as light as the bee on the wing. No thoughts had I then for the cares of tomorrow, what blessings or hardships or what else it might bring. The lambs were at play with all nature revealing, the larks on the hazel pouring forth their sweet strain, where the green shamrocks growing, then I had a feeling that someday I would dwell by the banks of the Main. Now my dreams have come true, and no more I'll go roaming, for time has marched onwards from boyhood to man. In yon green leafy bower I will rest in the wild wood, where the red sun is setting o'er the sage-aged ban. For there's not in old Ireland such a wonderful valley, where the wild feathered songsters sing their sweet refrain. And as life journeys on, I will dwell with my Sally in my cottage, my homestead on the banks of the Main. And it's there I will dwell whilst life journey is ended, all my wandering over and my death drawing nigh. And I pray to my God, for it's on him I'm depending, my soul for to restore, for it soon I must die. And when I am laid where my friends are all sleeping, on your lonely lea, free from all earthly pain, cover me up and let no one be weeping for Davy who wandered by the banks of the Main. That's it.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Smashing.
Great.
Thank you so much. It was just
Thank
so
you.
wonderful to hear your beautiful songs. It was, and singing. It was a real treat to have you as a special guest. Thank you so much for this evening. And thank you
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us. And apologies we can't get to everybody. We're going to finish with Lynn and Derek. So Lynn.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute treat to be with you this evening. So thank you for all the wonderful songs. I'm going to sing a song I learnt from Cathal McConnell, Shores of Lochbran. Sit you down, loyal comrades, sit you down for a while, till I spend my last hours around Erin's green shore. So fill up your glasses, and we'll drink hand in hand, for tomorrow I'll be leaving the shores of Lochbran. There's my father and mother, you can now hear them cry, with their tears bewailing, 'twas my son your eye. But I will assist them, please God, if I can, far from lovely Erin and the shores of Lochbran. No more will I wander your verdant green hills, to the place I love fondest, 'twas the banks by the mill, and the old fort I rally, where oft times I run, to inhale the fresh breezes round the shores of Lochbran. In the incoming morning I will bid you adieu to Leitrim, Drumshanbo, and sweet Carrick too. But no matter what fortune I might meet far away, my thoughts shall be with you by night and by day.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. So we're going to finish up the evening with Derek Robinson. I just crossed my mind, Derek, you're probably the nearest to the Courthouse Art Centre than any of us, are you? Yes, get to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I could throw a stone into it.
Okay,
Not quite, but yeah, I'm quite near it. Yeah. We're on the edge of Tinnahealy. We live on the back road from Tinnahealy to Aughrim, but I'm probably about 2.5 miles from the courthouse. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're the nearest then.
Lovely spot.
It is, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So it's very
Okay.
That you.
I'll give you a song and let you all go to bed. It was a homeward bound one night from the deep. Swinging in my hammock, I fell asleep. I dreamed a dream, and I thought it true, of Lord Franklin and his gallant crew. With 100 seamen he sailed away o'er the frozen ocean in the month of May. to seek a passage around the pole, where we poor seamen do sometimes roll. Through cruel hardships they bravely strove, but their ship on mountains of ice was drove. Only the Eskimo in his skin canoe did ever manage to make it through. In Baffin Bay, where the whales do blow, the fate of Franklin no man can know. The fate of Franklin no tongue can tell, where Lord Franklin and his sailors dwell. Oh, how this burden it has caused me pain. For long lost Franklin I'd cross the main. £10,000 I would freely give to say all over that my Franklin he lived. £10,000 I would freely give to say all over that my Franklin he lived. Thank you.
Well done.
Well done.
Well, thank you all, and a special thanks, a big round of applause for Mairéad. Thank you so much, Mairéad. Thank you. Wonderful. And thanks for everybody who joined us tonight. And we'll see you all again soon. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you when we see you. Thanks, Mairéad.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Night, everyone. Great night.
Thanks a lot.
Great night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Night, everyone.
Peace.
That was nice.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you, Valley.